Come on, Restream. Oh, for F's sake. Wait for program to respond. Come on, don't make me have two separate chat windows. That would be painful. You're going to make me have two separate chat windows, aren't you? All right, I give up. Two separate chat windows it is. Ah. Pop out. And Apple bashing time says not today, buddy. No, it's fixing time. I'm going to be fixing boards today. It's fixing boards time. I don't know why my chat window, why my Restream app isn't working, but I guess I'll figure that out later. Oh, it's because I already have one open. I'm an idiot. Duh. Don't. All right. Are we ready? So, today we're going to get started on an 820-3476 board, and this board is not turning on according to the customer, and it looks like it has had some previous rework. So let's see if this is something that's fixable or if it's just going to wind up being an unfixable mess as a result of being too far damaged. So also, today denotes the first day that I'm going to be using some new software that Paul Daniels is polite enough to provide me that automatically will look up something in the schematic based on what you are clicking on in the board view software. So let's say that I want to click onto U77, a diode next to U7700, and I click pin 2. I can click PDF, and it will actually bring me to the page on the PDF with that diode. Paul Daniels has been instrumental to the independent repair community. He's provided help, he's provided support, he mods the Discord server that I'm on, and he created this open board view software. He's consistently adding to it, and he offers amazing MacBook repair and iPhone repair services in Australia. I've gotten a lot of emails from people in Australia asking if I know anybody in Australia that can help with that. Go to pldaniels.com, and after this video is done, I'll include a link to his YouTube channel, which is going to be Paul Daniels, where he does videos on programming, rebuilding stuff, repairs. And if you're subscribed to this channel, I highly suggest you check it out. And thank you very much to Paul Daniels for this. I imagine this is going to be commercially available for everybody else soon for a fee. And yeah, he really deserves to get paid for stuff like this. And with that said, let's continue on and get to work. So let's see what happens when I try to turn this on. I'm going to plug it in. All right, it's plugged in. And what does it do? It beeps 3 times. Beeps. Beeps. Okay, so what we're going to do here to figure out the beeping is we're going to check on this beautiful new software that Paul Daniels put together. And if you haven't subscribed to him, check him out. Go to pldaniels.com. Don't delay. Subscribe today. We're going to check out the RAM. This is a RAM chip, and we're supposed to be getting 1.35 volts to this RAM chip. So let's see if I'm getting 1.35 volts to this RAM chip. So I'm going to use another set of software that Paul Daniels coded for me, which is the multimeter on-screen software. So what you may notice is that sometimes my multimeter shows up in the corner. I used to not have that enabled because the multimeter software that came with the meter was buggy and didn't work, even though it came with a $170 B&K multimeter. But because Paul Daniels is awesome, he coded software for this meter for me for free that does a great job. So let's get started here. So this machine is beeping. It's a A1502 2013-14 Retina. That beeping typically means an issue with the RAM. So what I want to do is I want to see what voltage I get on the RAM. Because if the RAM's not getting power, then I'm not going to blame it for not turning on. So let's see where it is I would expect to find RAM voltage. No more mate volts, Marion G says. No more mate volts. He fixed it. Paul Daniels is the man. Paul Daniels is the engineering man. He's the Da Vinci of our times. He is the Da Vinci of the independent repair community. Leonardo de Paul Daniels. Okay. So we should be able to measure right over here, and let's see if we get the voltage that we require. I'm just going to turn it back on. I turned it off because the beeping is annoying. Looks like we get 1.36 volts. Notice how Paul's software instantly renders that, unlike the old software I used to use, which was buggy. Also notice how if I want to find something like the chip that creates that voltage rail, on this new software that Paul Daniels put together, I can just keep hitting PDF up here, and it'll eventually bring me to that section of the schematic. I don't have to move over to my keyboard, go ow, like I usually do. I go ow as my hand hits the microscope because my keyboard is right in front of this, so I'd have to like maneuver my hand under here without scratching it against the board or hitting it against the microscope to hit Control F and type stuff in. The days of doing that are over, thanks to Paul Daniels. What I do is I just click over here, I go PDF, bada bing, I keep clicking, and it will eventually find me what it is I'm looking for. So, yeah, so I can search on this side of the board, and it says that comes from U7400. Look at this. I can just click. Beautiful. You just click PDF. That's all you do. You got to check out Paul Daniels' channel on YouTube, man. pldaniels.com. Don't delay. Subscribe today. Don't delay. Subscribe today. If you're subscribed to this channel, you should be subscribed to Paul Daniels as well. Make sure to find his stuff. So, we have voltage there for the RAM. And the VTT voltage is almost always present. I'm not even going to bother to check that because I've never seen a case where the VTT voltage wasn't present, but this was. But I'm kind of tempted to check since I said that. I'm probably going to wind up not having VTT just because I said that out loud. So let's check on the other side of the board. Don't delay. Check today. I'm going to have to take the board out of the computer anyway if I wanted to reflow the RAM, so I might as well take it out now. So I'm going to take that board out of the computer. Look for Paul Daniels and filter on channels because you'll get a lot of hits from a deceased magician with the same name. Yeah, Paul Daniels was a magician in his past life. Someone says, I don't know Paul's channel. Well, you should find Paul's channel. Don't delay. Subscribe today. And if you learned something from Paul Daniels, make sure to send him a donation. Oh, no, not that again. Oh, yeah, delete. Get that out of there. Forgot to hit the bell. Sorry, I am late. Hey, look. Somebody from Boston is in my chat. A troll from Boston. From Baston. From Baston. Car. Car. Bar. Bah. Drink. Drank. The troll in my chat from Baston is here. You gonna get a drink at the bar? Gonna get myself a coffee so I wake up before I get a drink at the bar. Boston people, they say things funnily. They say water, coffee, bar, car, cardio. Trying to get my heart in better shape, so I'm gonna work on my cardio. I'm gonna park my car in the yard. Boston. High taxes. By communism. They don't say communism, they say communism when they vote in their elections. Okay. No, Boston's a nice place. It's just every time I go to Boston, they make fun of how I talk. So since people in Boston make fun of how I talk, I kind of have to make it up to them. by making fun of how they talk, because that's the adult thing to do, you know. The adult thing to do is is if somebody makes fun of you in a childish fashion, to make sure you just take it one level below and make fun of them in an even more childish fashion. That's what you should do when you're approaching 30. That's the way to deal with it when you're approaching 30. Okay. You should watch Surviving Edged Weapons. It has more of that accent. Maybe I will. All right, let's see what we get. On pin 3, we get our VTT voltage. Voltage. Okay, now we're going to refly my chips, brah. Got to refly my chips, brah. So let's get the fan off. Off. Yeah. Okay, I'm done with that. Doing that, I don't know how people talk like that. That hurts my throat after a while. It's fucking painful. Okay. I'm kidding. I love you all from Boston. I love everybody from Boston. Unless they do eyebrows. It's fucking eyebrow people, man. Can't trust them. They're shifty. Okay. So, we're going to reflow some RAM. Y'all ready to get some RAM reflowed here? Y'all ready for some RAM? What is that zombie doing on my screen? Get off my screen, zombie. Mofo. All right, so we're going to do some RAM reflow here. I got my extra large nozzle. It's always important to have an extra large nozzle. This is 12.7 millimeters. There's nobody on YouTube with a nozzle as large as mine. You can get your nozzle at store.rossmangroup.com. Don't delay. Buy today. With 4.9 stars and shopper approved. Same-day shipping from New York City. And a full selection you can't lose. All right, so we're going to be reflowing some RAM. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cover some of my stuff over here so that it doesn't get, so the connectors don't get messed up. You're getting really good at advertising. I've been practicing a lot. I walk back and forth at night when I can't sleep, and I just start saying, "Don't delay. Buy today." If you won't shill your own products, if you won't shill yourself, then who the hell will? Really. You got to shill yourself. If you're not willing to shill yourself, then you're screwed. Because nobody's going to shill you. The only person who's going to shill you is you. And there sure as hell isn't a chance of me shilling anybody else on this channel. Because no social media marketing department in their right mind would ever approve spending money sponsoring this, whatever the hell it is I call. Ken Mason says, his store has good prices and the best customer service, ... Wait, ... Fuck you mean ... Best customer service and best prices, period. Not period ... Show you. Now, our customer service actually sucks sometimes. We have some pretty bad customer service when anytime somebody acts kind of like, you know when people tweet airlines and they expect to get their dick sucked because they said something mean about them? Like, I'm not good at that at all. So I would say like 4.9 star customer service. Not 5 star. I'd say you get 4.9 star customer service. You get everything short of a rim job, but no rim job. Some people really want a rim job with their customer service, and that I'm not good at delivering. Never been good at the rim jobs or the salad eating or the salad tossing. Would you be able to sell sand in Africa? Oh, would be able to sell sand in Africa. Damn straight.
Customer service gets significantly lower on the weekend.
Customer service gets significantly lower on the weekend. And if you're protesting the fact that we use FedEx because they didn't end their NRA discount, see, this is what I don't understand about Paul, and I mean this in the best possible way. We'll say, Paul, tell this customer that they need to spend this amount of money, and they're like, eh. But then it's, Paul, this customer is a fourth wave feminist that believes that the NRA are terrorists. And then he'll just go, no, they're not. I approve supporting FedEx and not caving. I'm like, what the hell? What the fuck? Like the amount of... I'm surprised there wasn't a picket line the next day after that.
There should have been.
You choose the wrong people to say that to. It's like... Oh, man. Anyway. I would have probably said the same thing. I would have just waited until she was out of the store and like I had the key and a lock and maybe a shield and pepper spray. All right. That was fun, but let's get ready for our reflow. Is there any way you can tell a refurbished laptop from a new one? It depends on how well they refurbished it and how much effort they put in. Lion Star gave me the number of a DCN board, not a MacBook. Your DCN board has RAM, bro? I'm impressed. No, I'm kidding. But, hopefully your hard drive cable doesn't die soon, because if you have that one, you probably, even if it's a 13-inch, it'll eventually have a dead hard drive cable. All right, so let's preheat this board. I'm going to preheat it. When you reflow RAM at store.rossmangroup.com, you can't lose. Don't delay. Give me money today. Uh-oh. Fan connector. Oh, well, I'll just put a new one on later. That was careless of me. You never have to preheat? I just preheated. Maybe not in the oven preheated, but I preheated from far away. I heated the board from far away for a while before I did this. Do you think Apple's business model will be its own demise? Eventually. Or maybe not. That's the thing. Like when you get Apple products, you get OS X. And Microsoft has said that they're not really going to be putting a lot of effort into Windows anymore. They're not going to, there's not going to be a Windows 11. They're going to keep updating Windows 10, but there's not going to be a Windows 11. So Microsoft already tapped out. And it's been like 17 years, and Linux is still a joke when it comes to consumer operating systems for a consumer operating system, meaning something that's not used by an IT administrator, for professional tasks like video, like using Linux as a digital audio workstation with plugins and or any type of specific application. Like it's a good operating system for normal people, but again, if you want something like the noise reduction plugin that I use or something like that, there's just no option. So a lot of people are going to be stuck on Mac OS for a while. I think they're just going to keep going up in valuation until Microsoft either comes out with something that blows OS X out of the water, which I don't believe that's going to happen in my lifetime, or Linux catches up, or a new contender comes into the realm altogether. Or the fourth option is that the way that we use computing changes entirely, and the desktop operating system is no longer relevant. I think the fourth one is what's going to happen, but it's going to be a while before that happens. All right, we're all reflowed here. Now we're just going to let this board cool off a little bit. Yeah, like again, just find a good open. What's the word I'm thinking of? There's Lightworks. But that is a steep learning curve in Linux. That's not something I would recommend somebody to try off the bat. There's stuff like Kden Live and OpenShot if you like crashing all the time and lack of functionality and lack of ability to use things like VST or audio units or Artaz plugins for audio. It's not fun. It's really not fun. What times do you usually stream? I stream whenever I have a moment of time to actually do board repair work on camera. So whenever possible. If Apple paid you to tour their factory, would you do a video on it? Yeah, I think that would be cool. I would do that for free, honestly. I wouldn't need money for that. We're so close to his huge nozzle. There's only one person that gets my huge nozzle. And they know who they are. I ship everything FedEx. Are you smelling the flux? That's flux and RAM reflow. That's like half a tube of flux right there. Oh, because you're in the bathroom, so it's going to smell like... Tell me you're not contributing to that. Any headphone amplifier recommendations? Get a Seymour, a well-made Seymour. Can you talk about Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act a little? Does it make warranty void stickers practically illegal? It does, but that doesn't matter. What matters is whether or not the vendor deals with it well. So if you have a $300 item, you're not going to hire an attorney to sue the company because it doesn't make sense. You're not going to spend $175 or $400 an hour to sue a company over your $100 to $600 product. That stuff only matters if the company actually changes the way they act. Further, it also depends if they're able to say, well, we're not going to cover it because you broke it and here's how we can prove it, and that's a BS reason. Like, it's not going to matter at that level. It's cool. It's cool solely from the... Yeah, I'm tripping over my words today. I'm sorry. I hate when people do this, and now I'm doing it. Let me rephrase. The Magnuson-Moss letter that was sent to all of these companies about the warranty void stickers is cool insofar that the government, it tells us that the government realizes that something bad is going on. So it's cool that the government has acknowledged that the independent repair and consumers have a point. That's cool. But do I think it's really going to change your interaction at the Apple Store? No. Do I think it's going to change how Microsoft deals with servicing your particular Xbox? No. And you can say on the phone, but Magnuson-Moss, this, that, and the other, but you're not dealing with the Magnuson-Moss Act. You're dealing with customer service on the phone in India or some dipshit at the Apple Store that at the end of the day is going to decide how it's serviced. Because you have to ask yourself, are you willing to hire an attorney over an issue with your Xbox? And if you're not, then that doesn't mean a damn thing to you, which sucks, but is the way it is. You know, there's the law, and then there's what you're willing to do to right injustice. And a lot of people are just not willing to do that, and I understand it. Anything happen about unit space to rent opposite Apple Store? No. Nope. No. I've been thinking about it. It's $48,000 a month. My girlfriend has been suggesting that I take out a loan, one of those subprime loans at like 20 to 30% interest, and I'm thinking about doing that because that would be really cool. Because then I'd be able to actually afford to pay the place for like 5 years or so. No, I'm kidding. She's going to have a heart attack if she's listening to this. But yeah, it's not worth it. It's not worth the amount of money that it would cost to troll them. At $28,000 a month, I wouldn't even have to think twice. But at $48,000 a month, screw that. All right, let's see if this thing still beeps. Hopefully it doesn't beep anymore. With any luck, this doesn't beep anymore. Ugh, and if it... Actually, wait, how am I going to tell? I cut off the stems. I should solder the speaker connector back on the board. Damn it, you dumbass. You dumb shit. Put the damn speaker connector back where it belongs. New multimeter? No, that's the multimeter software that Paul Daniels put together for me. Check him out at pldaniels.com. Don't delay. Subscribe today. If you haven't subscribed to the Paul Daniels, you should subscribe to Paul Daniels. I think my shilling voice is actually getting better than Linus. I could be getting ahead of myself here, but I'm putting in practice. I want my shilling voice to someday be better than Linus's and Eli the Computer Guys. That's my goal. I'm gonna shill. I'm gonna be such a shill. The sign would most likely be a sheep giving a middle finger. I'm not in the mood to solder a damn connector. Alright, I'll make this look nice later if the thing actually works. This is such a shitty connector. Don't solder connectors the way I'm soldering this one. This is not how you solder a connector. This is so damn... This is more crooked than the Democratic National Convention. My God. This is more crooked than what they did to Bernie Sanders. Yeah. Don't solder connectors like that. Alright. When you solder connectors like that, you can't lose. Actually, you can. That looks like those are fighting words, Henry. At least I didn't hold it to the board with rubber. Damn. Buzzy and beat me to it. Did that chop generation generate enough work? No, not $48,000. Not for $48,000 a month in rent. That's just crazy. That's craziness. That's cray-cray. You crazy. Alright, let's plug in the speakers. That's all I care about. Give me a chime, not a beep. Got 2 speakers in there. Got my SSD. Don't have a fan because the fan connector is burned off since I'm an idiot. Come on, no beeping, no beeping, no beeping. Chime. Chime. Ah, what the hell is that? Oh, crap, I gotta turn that thing off. No dice. Rest in pieces. Yeah. Not much we can do there. Maybe try replacing RAM later. Hi. Mm-hmm. A1534 died after LCD change. All right, this one should be a little interesting. Let's figure out this one next. What's your favorite Apple product? My favorite Apple product. Um, I don't use Apple products. I don't know. Died is a poor term to use. For what? I have a Dell Inspiron with a crackling left speaker. Any advice on how to tackle this? Replace the speaker if you think it's worth your time. I have an A1534 just like that here. Dreading it. Doesn't work after they replaced the keyboard assembly. Yeah. No fun, Tim. But you never know. It could be, maybe they just didn't plug it in. That's the thing, because you're dreading that because you're thinking the worst possible case scenario. However, there's a good chance that it's something very, very super easy. You can kill a laptop just by changing an LCD. You can if you're a mall franchise. That's for sure. All right, so let's see what we got here. See what we got here. We've got this. Let's open you up. So the description for this machine is change the LCD, and after changing the LCD, the machine is dead. You can see that the LCD screen on this A1534 MacBook has some laminate on it. So the first thing I'm going to do before I even unplug anything opening it up is confirm that this is the case. So I'm going to turn it on and plug it in. I can't see if the fan spins because this machine has no fan. Let's just confirm that what they said is indeed true. Doesn't seem to be turning on to me. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is unplug the keyboard and the trackpad. You have to be very careful doing this because that cable will rip. It's very short. Is Paul here? Hey, Paul Daniels is here. What is up, Paul? Paul is the man. Paul is the man. Okay. So we've got it unplugged. I'm going to check out what voltages I'm getting at different points. So let me just open up the board view and the schematic for this one. Let's see. Open PDF. Preferences, select. Loving this new software. This is amazing and beautiful software. So the first thing we're going to want to check out is why when I switch this, it doesn't automatically remember that I want my PDF to show. Oh, I have to go open PDF, board preferences, select. There we go. And there we go. So the first thing I want to do is check out the voltage coming in on the DC infuse. And that's right over here. And as you can see, thanks to Paul Daniels' beautiful software, it just shows up. I just click here, I click PDF, and it'll automatically bring me to where this is on the schematic. It's an amazing system. It's a genuinely amazing system. You can check out Paul Daniels at pldaniels.com, and you can check out his YouTube channel by searching on YouTube for Paul Daniels. He does MacBook repair in Australia. He programs and he creates all the software that you see here, from the board view software to the multimeter software that makes these videos possible. Don't delay. Subscribe today. He's a magician. That should make it confusing to find him. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is check out F3050 and see if I'm getting 20 volts there. It looks like I am, and it's a consistent 20 volts. Then now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to skip ahead a little bit, and I want to see if the CPU is turning on. So I'm going to try to find a capacitor for CPU vCore. They're usually somewhere around here, so let's search for that. Okay, do we have CPU vCore anywhere over here? CPP vCore SOGT? Let's see. Let's find CPU. VCCSA SOCPU. All right. Show me the CPU vCore. Oh, come on. CPU vCore. Gotta be somewhere. All right, we're going to find that up on these capacitors over here. So I'm going to check on one of those. Because there's a chance that this is actually turning on, it's just that their screen is bad. You understand? And that apparently seems to be the case. So we've identified the problem. They claim that the issue is not turning on. But it is turning on because we're getting 0.95 volts on CPU vCore. CPU vCore is the last rail that's going to turn on one of these machines. So if you're getting CPU vCore, the machine is turning on. The issue is that we have nothing on the screen. Likely because the screen that they installed is a broken one. Or some junk that they bought on eBay. Or not plugged in properly. Or all of the above. Anyway, you never know. Screen is on, it's working, says Christopher Builder. Nope, not working. And wait, what? Really? Okay, you're right. The screen is on and working. Check it out. All right, I fixed it. I fixed it with magic. And I can't figure out why the stuff isn't showing up on the screen. Grr. Hello. Where are you? Bastard. Well, thank you to Christopher, even though it doesn't show up on the screen. Yeah, that's interesting. I tried linking the Twitch and the YouTube channel, and I think that just made things more complicated. Grr. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, it's choosing not to work. That's lame. Hmm. Does it not show up on this screen too? Bastard. Hmm. What if I give up and just tell it to accept subscriptions as well? No. Open Broadcaster is being screwy. Hmm. Now I'm beyond clueless. All right, fuck it. I'll figure that out later. Streamlabs likes. So this already works. Let's see if it works when I plug in the keyboard now. Man, this is some dumb shit. You shipped this all across the US when it already worked. Did it just need the magic of my touch? Let's try again. Plug it in. Wonder if it turns on. Seems like it is. You fucking kidding me? So it just needed me to touch it. That's it. Seriously. Oh man. This customer waited for this thing to get sent all across the United States because somebody couldn't plug the damn screen in nicely. Oh well. Money for me. Do these trackpads in the new 12-inch MacBooks work through gloves?
I think so.
I have a keyboard. I don't have a trackpad. Actually, now I don't have a track. I think I may have pulled the plug out while I had it in there.
Yeah. Nope.
Suka billet. Alright. Maybe you didn't plug this thing back in properly. Is your trackpad cable slipping out? Maybe that would explain it. Maybe it's slipping out on the... it looks like it's slipping out on the trackpad end.
Sucks when it slips out.
It sucks when it slips out, doesn't it? It always slips out at the worst possible time, too. If this thing were longer, it wouldn't slip out as often. I have that same problem all the time. And they make it worse with each new version. It's almost as if, like, the older it gets, the more it slips out. But really, the cable between the keyboard and you should just be able to open the casing without having to worry about this. What are you laughing at? Come on, turn on, you piece of shit. Turn on, you fucking MacBook. Okay, do you not turn on when the keyboard and trackpad are plugged in? Is that what's going on here? This is boring to wait for. Bye, everyone. Have to go deal with the post office. Best of luck, Tim. Copaz says top turning Macs into PCs. Is this screen lighting up? Oh, yeah, you can't tell anymore. Okay, disconnect the keyboard and trackpad again. Plug it in, plug it in. Plug it in, plug it in. Let's see, vCore. Yeah, this is annoying. So you were on a moment ago. How do you get that little light for the battery to come back on after you hit the battery disconnect button?
Plug in the charger.
Let's see if I hit SMC on off L. Let's try and prompt it to turn on. Nope, nothing. Oh, what's interesting here is it's also giving me 0 volts on the charging fuse. All right, so now I know something silly is going on. Like I tripped over my charging cable. Tell me I tripped over the charging cable. Let's see, I plugged it back in. Yeah. Interesting. What's that? What just showed up on my screen? Love your channel. Keep it up before I something Apple. Thank you. Before I forget F Apple. Indeed. Oh, what was I just doing? I almost forgot what I was doing. All right, so it's clear that there's nothing coming into the charge port. I'm going to unplug the charger from underneath my desk, make sure the cable's situated in there nicely. Plug it in, do a different outlet. Huh? Oh. Does this work?
Somewhat.
What's somewhat?
It'll tell you what the charger's out there.
Is this the one that it takes a second to boot?
Yeah.
5 volts, 0 amps. That's not good. And none of it's getting to the actual machine. I want to get a pan tilt zoom for that camera, like a little joystick on the desk.
That'd be cool.
All right, so my amp reader says I'm getting 5 volts, but nothing is even coming into the fuse, which makes me wonder if that charging port is even good or plugged in. Oh, thank you. You've got a charging port right here. All right, let's plug in a different charge port. Make this thing charge. With the different charge port, we're getting 20 volts and 0.7 amps, which means it's going to turn on in a second and you'll see an Apple logo. How much are these things? These little USB-C things. How much was this?
I have no idea.
Oh, where'd you get it?
You got them. Or Jason ordered them.
Oh, it turns on. Bada bing. Okay, now let's see if it turns on with the old charge port. All right, what was I doing? Oh, original charge port. Okay, now it's working with the original charge port. Well, this is a confusing waste of time. Now I'm going to plug in the keyboard, and at some point I got to give up on this. Come on, turn on. Okay. Now all I got to do is plug in the damn keyboard and hope that it works after that. Let's turn it off. Shut it down. You piece of Mac shit. Having to keep it half folded as you open it so the cables don't rip. The fuck is the point of this? Why are you designing a computer like an accordion? Okay. Here, I'll show you what I have to do right now. Let's move the camera a little bit. Uh-oh. I got a little too... It slipped out. All right. Fix that camera later when we're... no view for you. Sorry about that. I got too excited with that camera. All right, let's try... I want you to be able to see how I'm torturing myself to plug in the keyboard connector. They really make this a pain in the ass. But you can't. Speaking of pain in the ass, how's that going?
I need new ink. Stuff that I had that dried up was the perfect stuff.
Let's see. Did they bend a pin on the keyboard cable? Is that why this is such a pain? You know, the cable is short, so in order to plug it in, you have to have the machine closed, at which point you run out of light. It's ingenious for torturing people. Okay. All right, so when you plug the keyboard and trackpad in, it goes back to not taking any power. That's interesting. But if I unplug it, now it's back to 5 volts again. Huh. That's really confusing. All right, so we had it turning on. I plugged in the keyboard. After plugging in the keyboard, it no longer would respond to plugging in a charger. I unplugged the keyboard, and now it responds to a charger again. This is... something's funky here. This charge port is also loose. It kind of wiggles around in the slot. Let's tighten that up. Actually, if you can't really tighten that up on this model, I forgot. Do this one more time before I assume that this is a bad keyboard and trackpad and leave it for somebody else. I've seen bad keyboard and trackpad keep it from turning on. I've never seen it keep it from going from 5 volts to 20 volts. That's interesting. I should look into what would possibly cause that. So I don't drive myself crazy later. Does the monitor work or not? The monitor works. All right, keyboard plugged in. Before I close it, 19 volts, 0.5 amps. All right, so we may have gotten somewhere. Let's see what this does. I can't show you the up-screen camera. I broke it. I got too greedy. I wonder what Sony would say if I sent them that camera. Yeah, messed up keyboard and trackpad. All right. Somebody else. Thank you, Paul. Shit. 2-0.
I'm messing around with eBay Chinese stuff for conductive ink when MG Chemicals makes it.
MG Chemicals is good. Oh, here, by the way. Did you finally change your desk cleaner from Windex to something new? Yep. I use this 7th gen or Simple Green or something like that. It works great. Because nobody ever cleans my desk, so it's good to have something good like this that cleans your desk. This is a clean that you can trust. It's the only clean that I would ever trust. Don't delay. Buy today. Okay. Aw, that's adorable. Okay, next on the list. And or Baxter had a question about his MacBook Pro. I'd have to scroll up a lot to find that, wouldn't I? Let's see. My late 2017 function key leaks 120 volts AC on the case while charging. It is also due a battery replacement. Had a battery replacement. It doesn't need a battery replacement according to the Apple website. Any advice other than not buying a MacBook? The 120 volt on the case thing, I have no idea about that. The battery replacement, I do think that they had an exchange program because some of those had bad batteries, so just make sure you don't pay for it. It's somewhere in my Apple engineering video you'll find that, I think. All right, next machine. Next machine. Today's a boring day of no fix. Something here has to be fixable. Yeah. Nap time. Are you looking for conductive ink?
I'm buying
Really?
Yeah, they have carbon or nickel, and they have it in pen or tubs. So I'm getting all four.
Nap time.
I use it at home too.
Do you think Trey Gowdy would run for presidency? No, he quit. Didn't he quit? He's a quitter. Buy conductive paint instead. It's more sturdy, says Ray. I should send you an old MacBook G4. No. No G4. No. The only thing that we will do on that is data recovery, and not by opening it properly. I mean by taking the back of a hammer and prying the case open to get to the drive. Because getting to the hard drive on an iBook G4 is BS. Damn, still no signal. Story time video. By the first iteration of Rossmann Supply Group failed. I tried to sell something that had no
Oh no. It stopped you mid-sentence. That's good.
Ooh.
What? No.
Fuck.
What is it? Let me see. What the bloody fucking hell?
This looks like piss everywhere. Oh. This ticket says that they approved only for keyboard.
What the fuck? What ticket is that?
20628.
Oh god. Oh god. Get that shit out. I remember her. Does the ticket say you only got a little water on it?
It says only approved keyboard repair. Bye-bye. I saw in your video it's only the power button. Why do I do videos on this stuff? I did a okay. My ticket update says nope. Oh, okay. That solves that one. Hey, a touch bar. Hmm. Never give a touch bar to a Marine holding an X-Acto knife. All right. Let's grab the USB-C charger. Okay, we're going to take the board out of this, and we're going to figure out what's going on with this touch bar. bar touch. Much touch bar. Excited? I hope you are. All right, let's see. Is my camera working? Can I get this overhead camera to work again? Here we go. Round 2, baby. What don't you like touch bars for? We have schematics for them now. We have board views.
No parts.
Okay, do you really need parts?
That's all I have in my status.
Oh, what? Touch bar?
Yeah.
Well,
4 of them.
the donor boards are coming. When the donor boards arrive, they'll be really easy to work on.
5 of them.
I'll fix this one. One of them only needs a transistor.
And one of them only needs an LCD cable. Or connector.
Touch bar types, those are new ones. Yeah, they're the 2016 plus. It's really funny because when people call, we'll say, yeah, if you have the new ones, it does. We don't have parts for those because they're not available. No, I don't have a new one. I have a 2016. It's like, no, you don't understand. By our industry, that's considered new. It's like it takes 2 fucking years to get parts to any of these things. In our shitty business, that's considered new. That's thinking it will be simple to fix after drowning it in cat piss. Yeah. Maybe it's a 4chan machine. It's always possible. Wouldn't put it past them.
What number are you on? Is that 603?
Hmm?
Is that ticket 603?
Oh, yeah. What does the ticket say for problem there?
Spilled water on keyboard. It turned off by itself, and then he tried turning it back on a couple times.
Okay, so dead. All right. Eventually, all we're gonna get are touch bars because the old will become obsolete.
You say this one needs the ISL. Is it the regular ISL or is it something different?
Which?
Another touch bar. So
Oh no, the CPU butt controller ISL.
Oh, we don't have that, right? Yeah.
No. I bought some, so I bought them and they're coming. The guy actually found them.
Okay, I have a Paul and a Paul first. I need a Paul dead status.
What's
so I
that?
stop staring at this stuff.
What's Paul dead?
Because I can't fix that, but it's in my status.
Oh.
So it's just clogging up things and confusing me.
Let's make a touch bar status. What do you say? Like touch bar waiting.
Touch bar waiting would be good.
Yeah. Waiting for touched bar.
Waiting for touch.
I love the names that they make for this stuff at Apple. See, like Apple's the only right by the Read the Me Too movement. They have Force Touch, Touch Bar. It's just
Forced touch.
Force Touch is my favorite. Like, how do you come up?
Gotta set somebody off.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's screaming about rape culture and patriarchy, and you come out with the fucking trackpad that you call Force Touch. What's the leading feature of your new design? Force Touch. Force Touch. Harvey Weinstein became an Apple engineer. So the video that I did on how Flux works that I hyper edited and did nicely so it's educational has 20,000 views. And the video I did on the iMac that was uploaded like 7 hours ago has 95,500. You got I should just give up on making educational content at this point. I think. Force touch, force thinking. Think different. Think forced. I don't even think that's just because Linus. The ingenious MacBook engineering video that I did on the keyboard power button got 91,000 views. It's like I think I'm making educational content, but is that actually what I'm existing for? Is that why I'm here? The bar has left the building. All right, let's take a look at this bar touch. These are annoying to take apart. I'm sure they'll get easier as I get faster with them. Learn them a little better. Let's go. What's up? What? Hope you're doing. Stay. No? Yeah? Right, that's. Yeah, check this. Look on. Look on this mod. Okay. This is, what model board do we have here? 820000239. So let's get a schematic and a board view loaded in open board view and then go from there and figure out what's going on with my board. And I just want to say yet another thank you to Paul Daniels for making this software available. This software not only allows me to show you the board view on the screen and click and immediately see what signal goes to which components in real time, but it actually auto-links with a PDF reader now. So when I open up the PDF file that I use to work on these boards, I can just click on a section. So let's say that I know that this over here is the fuse for PP-Bus G3 Hot. I can click on PDF, and it'll just show me where the fuse is on the schematic, just like that. Check out pldaniels.com. Make sure to subscribe to his YouTube channel, and if you have any MacBook, iPhone, or IT needs in Australia, Don't delay. Contact Paul today. So, if you are subscribed to this channel, you most certainly should be subscribed to Paul Daniels' channel. It's good content, and you won't be mad that you did. It even includes programming, assembly, disassembly, talk, coding, and more. I'm going to screw in the charge port so that it doesn't keep popping out. Keeps popping out. Don't want my charge port popping out on me. All right, let's go down our list of power rails here. So first thing to do is find out where the page of power rails is. Paul, where's the button on the software that's supposed to tell me where the page of power rails is? Where's the power rails button, Paul? Oh, you don't have it yet? Well, what the fuck good is this then? No, I'm kidding. I don't know what, but seriously, I don't know why Apple puts the power rails on a different page in every schematic. They used to have them always in the same place, page 7, right after the diagram. But now they put it on like page 66, on this schematic it's on page 100 and 101. Like, what's the point of that? I don't understand. I don't understand. So the first power rail that we need to check out is on F7000, and we're going to see if we get Pepe Bus G3 hot. Do we have our Pepe Bus? Pepe Bus, where are you? Oh, why am I routing my cable under here? Here, little Pepe Bus fuse. Aha! I have found you. My Pepe Bus is 0.00 volts. All right, well, let's see what our resistance to ground is on Pepe Bus G3 hot. Resistance to ground is 0.5 ohms. Is a short to ground on my main power rail. Yay! Okay, so let's figure out what could be causing the short. So the first thing I'm going to do before I even bother going crazy, getting the thermal camera set up and hooked up, is, because I keep forgetting where I put the power adapter for it, is let's look around the board and see what area of it looks to be messed up. And let's see if there's anything that's physically damaged before we bother injecting voltage. So GrossmanGroup.com/boards. The best guide to logic board repair. Don't delay. Subscribe today. Monthly subscription starting from only $29.99. Getting you access to engineers that know these products best. Best is subjective term that may. And let's. So you see anything that's nasty? Nasty? No. A little bit of glue from a connector or something? Nope. Nothing nasty. Nothing too bad here. Hey, I fixed a MacBook Air that wouldn't power off battery thanks to your video last week. Thanks. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that you learned something and did something. Can you create a link to Paul Daniels? There are too many Paul Daniels, says Mr. Q. PLDaniels.com. PLDaniels.com. So nothing looks particularly bad on first look. Let's look around the other side of the board. And you can see that the ICs for USB-C muxing on these are all covered in underfill. Boo. This board is not going to make it easy for us. And that's not a, I know somebody's probably going to say that's a solder ball, but that's not a solder ball. That's just some random piece of thermal paste. This over here is a solder ball. Whoa, I found you, baby. All right, so what's that? What's this for? What's that cap for? Show me what that capacitor's for. You're probably something important. So you got a solder ball next to you. You're on the rail for the for the CPU. That's exactly where I want a solder ball to be popping out of. A capacitor on the CPU power line. Yay! All right, so that doesn't make me happy. But let's continue. I'm going to make a mental note that right by a CPU power line capacitor, there's a big solder ball. Hey, what's this? What's that? What do we have here? And also, where'd that noise come from? Ah. I gotta figure out why that stuff doesn't show up on the screen. Let's see. What did you say? Damn, why is Streamlabs so buggy? The last one that I have is stop turning MacBooks into PCs. Ah, well. All right, so this capacitor over here, what's that for? Wouldn't it be cool if this was causing my problem? And I didn't have to take out the thermal camera. All right, so we're going to locate this. You're right over here by this vertical one that's big one that's going up and down. And this to the side. Okay, so you're here. And you're on PP-Bus High-Sense CPU, C7223. And if we click PDF, Paul Daniels' amazing software that you should check out and donate to by going to pldaniels.com is a 2.2 microfarad capacitor. And that is going to... okay, so the point of this transistor, let me show you what this is. So this is part of a buck converter. The way a buck converter is going to work is it's going to take PP-Bus HS CPU, which is PP-Bus G3 hot. It's going to take that 12.6 volts and it's going to chop it up. So sometimes it's going to be on, sometimes off, sometimes on, sometimes off. So it has a constant 12.6 volts in, but it has a variable out. And that transistor is going to chop it up, so sometimes it's on, sometimes off, sometimes on, sometimes off, and it's going to average out to 1 volt or 1.7 volts or whatever for the CPU. That's how you take a high voltage like 12.6 and turn it into a low voltage like 1.7 volts for the CPU. You get a little bit of 12, a lot of nothing. A little bit of 12, a lot of nothing. A little bit of 12 and a lot of nothing. And at the end, it's going to average out to something along the lines of 1.7 volts. And I can show you what it looks like on the screen over here in a moment. I can show you in my Google Doc. Let me find that and add it to the screen. And hope that I don't add something I'm not supposed to the screen. Okay, so we got Chrome and my training guide. And you can find a link to this in every single one of my videos. There will be a link to the training guide. This is completely free. So what is a buck converter? Now, a buck converter is going to take a higher voltage and turn it to a lower voltage. You're going to tell when you have a buck converter because you have a controller IC and then transistors. The controller IC is going to tell the transistors when to turn on and off. So here's the way it's going to work. So let's say you have these transistors, and then you have this thing is going to tell these transistors when to turn on. So let's say you're starting with a high voltage like 8 volts, and you want to make 1 volt for your CPU. So you have 8 volts. Then you're going to split it up. So you have a little bit of 8, a lot of 0. A little bit of 8, a lot of 0. A little bit of 8, a lot of 0. And that's going to average out to something like 0.8 volts for your CPU. And if you want to see what it looks like at every step, you can check out this guide, which is going to be linked below. So you have 8 volts up here. Then you have your switching transistors, and this transistor is going to take the 8 volts. Think of it like a light switch that you're just turning on and off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. And it's going to take that and shoot it out over here as a nice smooth voltage. So there's an inductor. An inductor does not respond well to quick changes in, it doesn't respond well to quick changes in current. It's very slow. So that's going to help smooth it out. And then you're going to have capacitors on the output to ground, which are going to act like a battery and store any of those pulses, and then like just shoot out enough when there's a lull to kind of keep it at a nice even voltage. So that's what a buck converter does. Now if we go back to our screen over here, you'll see that this is the same thing. Think of this like 2 transistors in one. So when we had those 2 transistors for the buck converter, this is essentially the same shit. So you have a controller chip, which is going to be on another page. If I just go page up over here. So U7100 is going to be the controller chip that tells this transistor when to turn on. Now, there's a capacitor over here, our capacitor that's shorted, C7223, and that's between PP bus G3 hot, which is the voltage going into this, and ground. It's there to smooth it before it goes into the transistor. So if we knock this off the board, there's a good chance that this will actually work again. And there's multiple capacitors in that line, so I may be able to knock that off and get away with having full function. So I'm just going to take this T5 screwdriver here and go FU capacitor, like Jessa Jones does. She just knocks those things off the board like the playground bully that she is, and see if we still have a short on that line. And I bet that our short circuit is now going to be gone as a result of removing that liquid damage capacitor. But there's only one way to tell, which is to get our multimeter on there. By the way, this multimeter software is programmed by Paul Daniels, a company that B&K owes money to, because B&K sells a $170 meter with multimeter software that's completely worthless. But enter Paul Daniels, who came up with software for this meter for free that works better than the software that came from a very high-end company. Check out Paul Daniels at pldaniels.com. Don't delay. Subscribe today. So let's see if we still get a short on that line now that we've removed that offending capacitor. And now that we've removed the offending capacitor, we have 17 kiloohms to ground, which is much better. They've also got a nasty capacitor under it. It's probably not shorted, but I'm not going to take any chances there. That capacitor got to go as well. So let's just tell that capacitor to GTFO. I'll tell it to GTFO in a nicer fashion. Instead of knocking it off, I'll use the soldering iron to that. So let's turn on the soldering iron in the hot air station. And let's fix this board that I was this close to giving a Paul. I was this close to giving Paul a board that had an obvious single capacitor failure that was a touch bar. I almost gave you something easy, and it was intentional, too. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. How often do you get a touch bar that's just one single bad capacitor? I got a good touch bar that's one single bad capacitor. All right.
He put all of this junk all over to make me think it was terrible.
All right. What is that attached to? Because it seems like there's something missing under there. It may be able to work without that cap on there. I guess I could solder to the nub. All right, I'll solder to the nub on there, and I'll clean up the top section here. Scrape away to get rid of the junk that was on those pads. Knock. Okay, is that a 2.2 microfarad cap as well? C7229? Well, check this out. Thanks to Paul Daniels' software, all I got to do is click one button to find out. All right, it's 0.22 microfarad cap. So I got to look that up in the book. 25 volt, 402 microfarad cap.
Yeah.
What? You want Paul Daniels to do a stream of his cat?
Yeah.
He has an adorable cat.
He has a really adorable.
I love the profile. Every time he changes the profile picture to his logo, I yell.
No, put it back.
He looks like Oreo if Oreo were more refined.
Yeah, and cleaner.
Yeah, Oreo is not clean. That's the. What's 0.22 microfarad translate to in this book?
0.22.
Yeah.
300 picofarad.
Let's see. 0.22 microfarad. Is there any nerd in the chat that knows what that would be in picofarads?
Yeah, 220.
220 picofarads. We have 2.7? Oh, we do have. And this is a 50 volt. That's an upgrade. That's oh, crap. I have to figure out why that stuff's not showing up on screen, but I'm still hearing the noise. Thanks again for a working Twitch stream. Love your content. Have you started a Patreon for your shop in the Apple Store yet? I have not. I apologize for not having a working thing showing up on the stream. I have to figure that out. I'm not going to do it because it's $48,000. That's a bit much for me. Okay, let's see. I'm going to use a chart. 0.22 microfarad, which is this. This 0.22 microfarad cap, I need to find that in picofarads because in the book it's pico.
220 nanofarads.
Oh, okay. What's that? So 0.22. Yeah, 220 nano, which is 220,000 picofarads. Or 220 nanofarads. 22 nanofarad. 220 nanofarads. Here we go. 22 nanofarads. 220 nanofarads. Mother, it's a 10 volt. I need a 25 volt. You piece of Apple, why? Why, Apple? All right, let's see. What do you have on the year before? Maybe the 2015 board will have one of those caps on it. It's probably a similar circuit. It'll probably have what I need. I don't have a donor board for the bar touch yet. 0.22 UF. Okay. You have one that's, 50 volt. Oh, but you're 0603. You don't count. 10 volt, lame. 25 volt, hello, found you. C7202. Okay, let's open up another board view. C7202. Okay. I can just steal this from another board, so that's fine with me. This book really does come in handy most of the time, though. It's just Apple has these special values for their snowflake circuits every now and then that you can't find in the book. Okay. And that's a capacitor that I've stolen because yeah, I've stolen it from this one. I stole it from that one. Here we go. This one's got it. Still can't believe we got an easy touch bar. That's just... What happened to Jason? Jason went on to work for his own business. He's kicking ass. Jason is kicking ass and taking names. All right. Let's get that soldered in. To turn the board around. One tip I have for you is that when you're working on these products, what I suggest you do is turn it around so it's comfortable for you. Don't worry about the board being comfortable. Worry about you being comfortable, because when you're comfortable, you'll solder better. Okay. Turn it around again. And the wire is now soldered. So my jumper wire for that little pad over there is good. Now you got to solder in my second capacitor, the 0.22 microfarad one. Which was this one. PDF. 2.2 microfarad, 25 volts. That cap is a little too big. Shit. Yeah, that's not gonna. That's a 603. I need a 402 with those same specs. It's gonna be a little bit harder to find. Should I put a 0603 cap on there and make that fit? I'll let you guys decide. Should I turn this Mac into a PC? Is it time for this Mac to become a PC? It's all up to you, man. All right, I think this Mac's about to become a PC. Let's do it. PC time, baby. This one's for you, lobbyist. This one's for you. Wait, I can just... I wonder what that probe point above is. Maybe I could make this look nice. What's this? Are you this? Are you that? No. This is the same as this. And this is the same as this. So what if I could just run the... Nah. I'm gonna make it a PC. That ain't going nowhere. That's one tough capacitor. Beautiful. Alright, now I saw some other corroded stuff under here. That, while looking bad, is not something that's really going to cause critical damage. So I'm just going to give the stuff under this area, a little bit of flux, a little bit of solder, a little bit of touching up, and get myself a bunch of donor boards so I never have to do that PC conversion process again. Pretty. It's my first message. I follow you for a year. Could I ask STA, Sith, to remove flux, is it okay to it to alcohol with mix? Is it okay to to it with alcohol mixed with distilled whether I have money for a what? Use a Q-tip and alcohol. I can't read whatever you just wrote, but use a Q-tip and alcohol and you'll probably be fine. Yeah, just don't use a toothbrush, because a toothbrush is just going to move the flux all around the board. So use something that's actually going to pick it up. They make these really expensive Q-tips that don't leave fibers in the board. Don't waste money on that. What you should do is you should use a Q-tip, but spin it around so that the fibers stay on the Q-tip as they're falling off. One of those resistors looks terrible, so I'm probably going to actually replace it instead of just touch it up. I'm touching up this area because it looks like this was water damaged, and I don't want any of this stuff failing again. Think of this like filing your nails, like filing the resistors a little bit. Uh-oh. Alright, I'll have to push that resistor down in a moment. I gave it a little bit too much pressure. It's real easy to give things a little bit too much pressure when they're this damn tiny. Don't want to go nuts. I just want to go over the areas that look like they were affected by the liquid. I actually can't find the resistor I was complaining about before, so perhaps I was being a little OCD with it. Why is Jason no longer with us? Did you fire him? No. Jason's own business was doing really well, and he wanted to dedicate his time to that. He's doing well at it. And oh, great. Now that all the messages are showing up. So before they didn't show up once, and now they show up double. I'll figure that out later. So. If I don't use a toothbrush, will it go away? If you use a toothbrush, you're just spreading it around the board. That's the thing. Crap. Did I just take something that was 99% and make it worse by trying to make it perfect? I did, didn't I? I'm also using the wrong nozzle for this. I'm using a 12 millimeter. I should put the 8 or the 6 on. Alright, enough trying to make things perfect. I'm going to wait for this board to cool off a little bit, and then I'm going to turn it on and see if it works. See, the first thing I'm going to be interested in is we're going to revisit the scene of the crime, where I was getting 0 volts because of a short, and we're going to see if we're getting 12.6 volts on PP Bus G3 hot, which I hope I am. Okay. Let's check out what we get on our PP Bus G3 high. Do we have a high PP bus or a low PP bus? A short PP bus or a long PP bus? Zero volts. Well, that's lame. Is our resistance to ground any better than it was before? Still 0.4 ohms. Interesting. All right, so we removed all the stuff that looked bad. But it's still broken. Interesting. But I had 17 kilo ohms before. Is it possible that the capacitor that I removed and put there is bad? There's no way in hell that my donor board that was 100% certified quality from Shenzhen had a component on it that's faulty. No way in hell. Okay, let's figure it out. Wow, that's embarrassing. Mac to PC modification failed. Much sadness. Coin 4 kiloohms. All right, let's check out the cap that I took off. Was it my soldering? There's no way that that high quality soldering job wasn't 110% perfect. Okay, I'm not losing my mind here. Let's try this again. Nothing. Damn. And short circuit. Still shorted. Now I go back under here. And tell me you're shorted now and you weren't before. Okay, this short is gone, but I still have the short somewhere else. So there's no short here. I've resolved this. But my PP bus is still shorted.
Pink markers.
Alright, I cave. Thermal chem?
Thermal cam?
We have thermal chem?
It just fixed an iPhone, possibly.
I cave. Where is thermal chem?
You have your power supply?
Do I have a power supply?
You have a power supply plugged in underneath there somewhere.
Is it you? No, it's going to be one of the two-prong things.
Yeah.
What's this?
What's that?
That's probably my camcorder, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, crap. Okay, there's another one. Oh, this is what it feels like to be Monica Lewinsky. Wait, what's this one? That's the light for the microscope, isn't it? Yeah, it's the light for the microscope. Okay, so. How to steal Steve's. He won't notice. You found it? Where's the camera?
Right by that power supply.
Joy. Man, I feel like such a noob.
As I unplug your computer and make the screen go dead.
Uh-oh. Zoink. So you have a power supply on your desk and I have one on mine?
Yes.
That's convenient. Now we just need to get another free thermal camera. Okay. And I have to send some voltage through there. All right. It's probably going to be something around the CPU. Well, first thing I got to do, remove the fuse and see what side the short is on. And then inject voltage into whichever side is sorted. Place this on the side. Let's see which side is shorted. Is it the side that creates PP bus G3 hot or the system side? It's probably going to be the system side. 2.6 kiloohms. 0.7. If we go back to the board view software, side that shorted is the system side, pin 2. That sucks. Okay. All right, we're going to start out at a really low voltage to not fry anything. Oops. So out of the ground of the power supply, the ground of the board. That wire is about to break off. I should cut it. Make a new one. Yeah. And attach the positive of the power supply to where our short circuit is. Doesn't have to be the prettiest soldering joint in the world. It's not like it's permanent. Okay, now we're going to get our thermal camera software into view. So thermal camera is here. Ahem. Thermal camera. There we go. All right. So our thermal camera is going to show us different temperatures in different areas. Now we haven't started outputting voltage yet, but we are now. So let's see what gets hot. Now if we click this button up here, it's supposed to show you what's warm. And obviously the stuff that's going to be warm is the wire. And it's not really a big temperature above the board, so I could give a crap less about that. And we're going to check around the rest of the board. When you hit this button, it's supposed to show you what gets. The big button that's like Chinese and doesn't say anything on it, except for a big Chinese symbol, that's the button that shows you. And as you can see here, it looks like our short circuit is right over here inside of one of the pieces that sends VCore to the CPU, which is why I'm very happy that I started the power supply off at 1 volt. And because it's not going to kill the CPU, since the CPU is designed to take more than a volt. So it looks like it's a CPU MOSFET. Now, typically when the issue is with the CPU MOSFET, what happens is that CPU MOSFET shorted and it sent 12 volts to the CPU, which very often kills it. Because when PP-Bus G3 hot is working, for that quick second when the short originally happens, it's sending out 12.6 volts, the MOSFET's permanently on, and that's no good. So that sucks. So we're going to remove that MOSFET and see what happens, but I'm not hopeful. And I also don't have a donor board, so I can't try another MOSFET, which also sucks. I may have some donor that I'm not able to fix, but I gotta double check and see. But chances are that this is effed. But one way to find out, right? I want to remove this from the board the second it can come off, which is why I'm being aggressive with it, because it's right next to the CPU, so I don't want to use any more heat than what is absolutely necessary. Okay. Now that that's done, there's no more short circuit because when I turn on the power supply, it doesn't use any amperage. And if I were to measure the short with the multimeter, it's cleared, 1.6 ohms. That's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. Be right back. Let me just see if I have a donor. Do you think I need all 3 phases? I think I can get away with 2 phases of CPU vCore.
I think it'll turn on, but it probably won't move.
Hmm.
CPU uses a lot of power to move.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Let's see if it at least will turn on or something. Why am I using a micro pencil to solder this fuse back on? There. We'll need a lot of flux there since the micro pencil barely did anything. Why doesn't Lewis stock jelly bean parts from donor instead of picking from donors? Because a lot of these parts you can't actually buy. They're not available anywhere. I'm kind of curious if it'll boot. Not even boot, if it'll just turn on. Or even try to turn on. Do you really need this many stages of CPU vCore? That seems a little bit excessive to me. Don't be greedy now. Okay. You don't need all 3 phases. PP bus G3 hot. Is at a healthy voltage? Let's see. What about our CPU? How's the CPU doing? CPU's not feeling it. CPU doesn't feel like turning on. Yeah, I probably need that MOSFET. Either that or the CPU's just dead. One or the other. It probably wants that MOSFET to work. All right, let's see if any of the... I suppose we could go down the list and see if the other power rails are present. Any other SO rails or S4 rails or... Let's see. PP1V8S3. Is the memory voltage present? Is anything... Because if we're missing S3 and S4, then that's just time to go. It's just time to call it a day. At the very least, until I can get a donor MOSFET. But usually on these boards with the new sissy CPUs, if... Hey, okay, we have an S3 rail, so we're in an S3 state. Just seems like it doesn't really want to create vCore all that much because it doesn't have its MOSFET, which is fair enough. There's probably a P-good circuit over there. Let's see, we have a P-good circuit. So if I were to check U7220. All right, so switches, boot, phase, driver, gate high, gate low, PWM, FCCM. Oh, this is for phase 2. All right, and it wants to sense what it's making, and it's going to talk to something. I sense N. So that's going to R7224. And where is that going to talk to? That's going to talk to the chip. Yeah, so this chip, which creates CPU V-core, is probably not happy because it can tell that one of the phases isn't on and working. So that means that this is going to have to wait for me to get a MOSFET, which... One moment. One moment, actually. I don't want to give up on this just yet, because this board is... Mm-hmm. Be right back. I missed stuff. I was away for a little bit. Okay. You can do it. Don't give up yet. I'm going to try, baby. I'm going to try. Yeah. I know you can't see anything. That's. Give me a moment. All right, we're gonna. Okay. Give me. Give me a moment. Why do you British people add a U to everything? I shouldn't be using a micro pencil for this. That's really silly. Micro pencil for a CPU MOSFET. What's wrong with me? Beat more, HAKKO. Beat more. After this, it's about time for me to get going. I'm too tired to follow a chat and fix boards at the same time at this point. I'm going to finish this one up and wish you all a good evening. What does the gooey fluid do? We have a video on that on the main channel now. Check out how does flux work. I should put it in the description of every video. Okay. Some of those pads look like they're shorting, but they're actually pads for the same thing, so they're allowed to touch. Like the pads that are really difficult to remove the bridging from is because they're all the same thing. And I can't fit a really powerful iron in there, so. I can only fit a micro pencil. All right. Cool this board off. Yeah, cool the heatsink off. Okay, I'm going to mute this since the air compressor will rape your headphones. All right. Here goes nothing. Wait. This one. Yeah. Okay. Okay, we got the screen plugged in. And we have the charger plugged in and nothing else. Just screen and charger. I flip this over. Grab the charge port. I'm going to grab this by the... Damn. When I touch the charge port, the screen falls out unless I screw it in. But I don't want to screw the screen in just yet because that's a... I got to find the damn bracket and the screws for it. F that right now. Okay, fine. Let's plug the screen in nice and gentle. Open it like this. Plug it in like this. God, this is infuriating to test. And let's see if we have a working machine or a dead CPU. So, don't you beep at me before I ask you to beep at me. We have 13 volts there. CPU has 0 volts. 0 volts. 0 volts. 0 volts. And if I were to turn this around, my guess would be that the screen is not turning on. So this board was a steaming pile of waste. I'm going to guess that there's either more wrong with my CPU V-core circuitry, which we're going to leave to...
What?
He's the touch bar master. Touch bar master. No, seriously, this board can go fuck itself. I'm done for today. That's enough defeat for one day. I think I've sat here this entire time and I've billed $0. So I'm sad. I'm a sad panda. That sucks. That sucks. I'll see you all tomorrow. Hopefully, then we'll have a better stream. Sorry, it's been so boring and not productive. That's it for today. And hopefully you've learned a lot of what not to do if you want to make money.